In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Well, for the last many days, we've been watching the convoluted actions of the enemy moving through religious leaders. And the secular leadership had to step in and save Paul's life. After we've seen all this, it's been many days. I don't want you to forget when the commander of the secular government stepped in to save Paul's life from the religious leaders. He put him in prison just to save his life, to keep him safe from these guys that were trying to kill him. And what I want you to remember is, while he was in the jail cell, God showed up and said, "Take courage, for as you have solemnly witnessed to my cause in Jerusalem, so you must also witness at Rome." You've been preaching the gospel in Jerusalem and even in other places, even to the Gentiles, and I want you to go to Rome and preach to even Jews, but the Gentiles there as well. So we go through all the convoluted stuff, and he goes from town to town, and he goes from leader to leader, and he ends up with King Agrippa, and King Agrippa sends him to Rome. And we're picking up the story there today. We're starting chapter 27, and we're going to look at some of the journey. I hope you got your traveling clothes on, because we're going to go from town to town to town to town, because going to Rome is not like today. You don't get on an airplane and just fly to Rome. No, you get on a boat and you go for days and weeks, and Paul did. And so we're going to look at some of that journey. When it was decided that we would sail for Italy, they proceeded to deliver Paul and some other prisoners to a centurion of the Augustan cohort named Julius. All right, Julius has custody of Paul now, along with other prisoners. So they head out on this ship that's heading along the coast of Asia. And the next day, we put in at Sidon, and Julius treated Paul with consideration and allowed him to go to his friends and receive care. And so Paul is not treated like a prisoner. He's given some leniency. Well, they end up in Cyprus, and then they go to Pamphyrius and Cilicia. And there the centurion found an Alexandrian ship sailing for Italy, and he put us on it. So now they're even changing to another boat. And we sailed slowly for a good many days. And then they came to Cnidus, and then they went to Crete, and they had difficulty sailing, but they kept on and eventually came to a place called Fair Havens. And then, verse 9, when considerable time had passed and the voyage was now dangerous. They'd been in boats, more than one, for a long time. The sailing was tough, and now they're going, and it's dangerous. Since even the fast was already over, Paul began to admonish them. And he said to them, "Men, I perceive that the voyage will certainly be with damage and great loss, not only to the cargo and to the ship, but also to lives." Well, the government is determined to get these prisoners to Rome, but there's going to be great loss along the way. We've got to hear the voice of God so that we can trust Him and walk with Him, receiving His love. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we see what happens as they move forward in this ship sailing toward Rome. I'll see you tomorrow.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world, but give me Jesus.